Hi guys, today it is an Gretsch Gretsch G5420T, and what I've done to it is made a new nut out of tusk, replaced the top of the bridge into an ABM German-made, very good machined metal bridge. What else? Set up D'Addario 10 to 50, quite heavy bass, and also made sure that this part here of the strings will not be able to move, attached to the tuners with this sort of self-locking knot. A big problem on these guitars are, of course, retuning or detuning when least expected, or especially when using the Bigsby. So there is a special procedure involved when making or setting up a guitar like this. And let me just explain briefly what I do. It takes some time, but it's fully manageable. So, of course, I do the setup, set the straightness of the neck, then the neck relief, and also the height in the saddle. Nut, and of course the action at the saddle. So there are these three parameters circling around: the A, the nut, the straightness of the neck; the B, the action of the strings; the C, and then we come to the D, and it's of course the intonation. So every string tuned and then compensated here at the bridge. And what I always aim for is I start with a clean octave, open string, fretted string, and then when I'm content with the result there, I move to the 5th fret compared to the 17th fret, which is an octave also. And if the note doesn't differ more than 5 cents, I'm pretty happy. I mean, here it can be like +2 cents or +1 cent, and here it might be -1 cent or -2 cents, and here it is clean octave. So if it's within that scope, I continue to the next string. Okay, so working over all the different strings, making the compensation for each individual string with the same template as I just mentioned for the high E string. Then I move on to checking especially these three plain strings, and as most of us know, this plain G string is often a big obstacle. So if you want a really good intonation, I would suggest you change to wound G string. Different mass compensates differently than a plain G string. And also, if you mainly play chords, I would suggest to use a wound G string. If you play solos and bend a lot, of course, then the wound G string is not an option. Anyway, over to the setup of the Bigsby. So we come here to this D major chord in the first position, and I always use this chord as a reference point, especially for the three plain strings. So when I play them, I move up to the, let me think, the G, same formation, but the G, G major, A major, and octave D major. Those three chords are especially important according to how I see the intonation on the guitar. So let me just show you and me what I mean. D major sounds like this. Yes. And the A, wrong on me, the G, and the A. And then we go up to the octave D. And of course you can do the octaves. One more time, it was not so clean. And also another factor, when you tune the guitar, bear in mind that this part here is not fixated. It's not fixed. It can move. So it's sort of a balance between the tuned string and this lever in action. Pretty much like keeping the balance if you were walking on a tightrope over a street from one building to another, high up in the air. It's the same thinking. You have to keep the balance to be in the game. Same thing here. So let me show you what I mean by this. So we have the D major chord, and as I know now, the G and the A, and we go for the octave D. And let's say we go a little bit crazy here and raise the pitch. Okay, how did this affect the guitar? Let's see. Not that much. Not that much. Ooh, sounds a little bit spooky. Pretty okay. So let's, and also pretty okay. Let's go back to the spooky one. So let's dip that lever to the pickguard and see what happened. A lot more in tune. And up here. So what I did was, when I tuned the string, watch the tuner, dip the lever, watch the tuner, dip the lever, retuned till I was satisfied with how the pitch was after touching the pickguard. Same thing with the other strings. This is a very normal procedure for setting up like a Strat guitar with a floating bridge. So it is sort of, I usually say or consider this is like giving the tremolo or the floating bridge a home. It is a place where it is at rest. So this G, raised, quite heavy, checking the intonation or the tuning. It's a little bit bad here, but actually this guitar is very stable on an overall basis. And also remember that the nut has been changed to a tusk nut, and it's quite shallow cut, so there is no binding for the strings. They won't get caught here in the slots. And the biggest problem, I think, is this angle of the strings. It's very, very steep diversion of the strings going out from the nut, which is a big problem when it comes to detuning a guitar. So anyway, what I did was dip the lever, stable again, back to where it should be. No magic, just a method. Thanks for watching, and keep watching if you want to learn interesting and fun stuff here at gitarrist.nu in Malmö, Sweden. See you later.